Have you been wanting to write a book that can grow your business and make an impact, but there is something holding you back? Maybe something mentally holding you back. Maybe something in your gut that's holding you back. We're going to eliminate some of these limiting beliefs. In the last episode that I did, we talked in part 1 about 3 limiting beliefs that are getting in the way, that are stopping you from creating the book that people need to see, creating the book that you know you were meant to write. And the 3 that we covered last time was number 1, I don't have time. Number 2, I'm not a writer. And number 3, I don't know where to begin. And look, let me be honest with you. These are all valid, and I've had all of these. But in this video, what we're going to talk about is limiting beliefs 4, 5, and 6 for part 2. And we're going to break down each one. And hopefully by the end of this one, you are going to have your limiting beliefs shattered so that you believe that this is possible. I already believe it's possible. I already know it's possible. But there's a reason you haven't written your book yet, and we're going to break through that today. Limiting belief number 4. This is one of the biggest ones that comes up is, who am I? Who am I to write this book? Now, this often comes from the imposter syndrome. The who am I? Who's going to read my book? What makes me special? Right? This is a belief that I really had in my various different book adventures. And this is a belief that a lot of people have. They say, well, who am I to write this book? Because when I grew up, I thought that you had to have achieved a certain level of success before you wrote a book. I thought you had to have done something. Maybe you had to have financial success, whatever it was. Okay. And I was worried about, who am I to write this book? Well, I want to tell you something right now. You are you, baby. You are you, and you are good enough because nobody can tell your story the way that you could tell. I'll tell you this, when I write my books, I get a lot of haters, especially when I wrote my first book and people thought I was crazy for writing a book at 22 years old on the career market, okay? But you got to do one simple thing. Screw the haters. It's not their dream, it's yours. It's not their story, it's yours. It's not their impact, it's yours. It's not their legacy, it's yours. Okay? You got to stop wondering what other people are going to think about you by writing a book. You got to stop worrying about, am I good enough or have I had a certain amount of success? Because the truth is, yes. You have done the thing you're going to write about in your book for yourself and probably for others. So who are you to write the book? You are you. Okay? Let me make something very, 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 very clear here. You are not new to results. You are just new to delivering this message that gets results in a book. You are not new to results. You are just new to delivering your message in book format. Okay, a lot of people get scared. Who am I to write a book? They think they have to be at a certain level. Look, a book is just a different way of delivering the information that you are already getting paid to do. All right, limiting belief number 5. Limiting belief number 5 is that there are already 1 million books on my topic. All right, let me let you in on a little secret here. There probably are. There probably are a lot of books on the topic of which you're writing about. Look, when I wrote Big Idea to Bestseller, was I the first person to ever write about Big Idea to Bestseller and how to write a nonfiction book? Hell no. Will I be the last? Hell no. But guess what? My book is different than the ones that are already out there. And here's what's important. There's a lot of books that are probably on your topic. They just aren't yours. If people are writing a lot of books on your topic, that clearly means that there's a demand, because we wouldn't write lots of books if no of those books sold. If somebody else already wrote a book on your topic, great. That means there's space for your book. I really want you to get in this framework of stop thinking about it that it's just my book. I'm just one of 1 million. No, you're not. You're one of one that has many books in it. But you are your own book, your own category, because the truth of the matter is people have read the experts that you think are going to overwhelm and overpower you. And look, there are some absolute behemoths when it comes to the book world. Okay, but the majority of people are looking for a book that is different than what they've already read. People have read the big names. They've read the Brene Browns. They've read the Lewis Howes. They've read the Brendan Burchard. They've read the Tony Robbins book. But guess what? It hasn't stuck. People are looking for a new way of thinking, or people are looking for a more relatable way of thinking. Because here's the truth. A lot of times the superstars, a lot of times the biggest names in your respective industry, they've had a ton of success, but they aren't 1 to 2 steps ahead of somebody else. They're 100 steps ahead. Okay? And so you got to remember this. People get information from multiple people. People get information at different stages of their journey, even if they want the same result. Okay? So the people get information, but they only receive that information when they're ready for it, right? Growing up, my mom would always tell me, Jake, go do this, Jake, do this, Jake, do this. I'd be like, yeah, mom, sure. I was like, what does my mom know, right? And then a friend or a teacher or a friend's parent would tell me the same exact thing, and it would finally click for me. And I'd be like, oh, I'd come home and I'd be like, mom, guess what I learned today? And I'd tell her and she'd be like, Jake, yeah, I know this. Yeah, I've been trying to teach you this, right? But the only way you're willing to receive the information is when you are ready. And I believe that this is so important when it comes to writing a book is when there's a lot of books. Yes, people may have read a lot of these other books in the topic, but they haven't read yours. Okay, maybe they haven't been in the right mindset to read it. Maybe they had to read 10 books on a topic before yours finally clicked. Okay, sometimes if you read something 10 times, you finally understand it. But a lot of times people read a book once. So maybe they finally got it, and then your book was the one that actually stuck with them, okay? And here's the last thing that I'm going to share about this when you're talking about competition, there's too many, is that books are not a zero-sum game. Here's what I mean by this. People don't read one book per category, and they're like, okay, I'm done. That's it. I got everything I ever needed. Sure, small percentage of people. But what happens is most people will buy a book in one category. They'll get intrigued. They'll still have questions, so they'll try to buy someone else's books. They'll like the books. They'll want to buy more, and they'll soak it up. When I was studying happiness, what I would do is I bought one book. Did I read one book on happiness? No. I bought every book in happiness that I could possibly find that was recommended to me. And then I found some that weren't recommended to me. Okay? Why did I do this? Well, because I wanted different perspectives. I wanted to see what were the common themes. I wanted to see what people thought differently based on where they wrote the book from, where they came from, were they academic background or were they personal experience background? Okay? So stop worrying about competing and saying, oh, if I'm not number one, my book's not going to be successful. No. Start seeing it as an opportunity to be read alongside your favorite thought leader, the person that you looked up to and inspired you on this journey. All right? It's really amazing when somebody will buy your book and the person who you're like, oh my God, that person inspired me. Writing books is not an either or. Okay? Consumers don't say, I'm either buying this one or this book. They're going to be like, I want this book, and if I like it, I'm buying this book. Okay? It's yes and, not either or. All right? There is somebody out there, and I promise you this. Okay? I've gotten so many messages. Our clients have gotten so many messages. There is somebody out there in the world who is waiting for your book in your voice right now. People need your way of thinking. There's so much out there. People need your way of thinking. There are so many people. They need to hear it from you. Because what you think they already know, they might not have gotten. And they might be searching for that solution. The solution they've been waiting for and they don't even know it yet is yours. But if you don't write your book, they're never going to get that solution. And they're never going to get the results they're looking for. All right. The last limiting belief, let's break it down here. And this one comes up a lot. Okay, now when you're thinking about limiting beliefs, maybe one of these is sticking with you. Maybe all of them are like, you know what, Jake, actually this, and this. Maybe one really resonates more with you. Whatever it is, acknowledge it, walk through it, talk through it, get some help if you need that, and then let's shatter those so that you can write your book. But here's limiting belief number 6. I don't have enough to say to write an entire book. This one comes up a lot, especially with the busy entrepreneurs and executives, because they're like, I don't have enough to say to write an entire book, right? Well, what we have found after helping hundreds of people write their book is that you probably don't just have one book in you. You probably have enough to say for multiple books, okay? And what we often find is that the length of books that we recommend, typically in that 30,000 word range, sometimes 20 to 30, 30 to 40, but let's say that airplane time frame, 3-hour read, oftentimes that fills up much faster than you think. And here's a breakdown of this. If you did a 25,000 word book, if you wrote 125 social posts of 200 words, that's 25,000 words. A 30,000 word book. That's just 20 blog posts of 1,500 words. All right. I always love when people are like, Jake, I've written hundreds of blogs, but I don't think I have enough to say for a book. Well, you've probably written hundreds of thousands of words, and all we're going to do now is compile it into book form, right? Or if you want to write a 40,000 word book, well, the average person speaks 150 words a minute, okay? That's 267 minutes or about 4 hours of talking to get to 40,000 words books. Could you talk for 4 hours? Have you spoken for 4 hours about any topic in your life? Probably not in a row, but probably, right? So look, you've already written, you've already spoken, you've already captioned multiple books. All we're doing now is putting it in a different format. We're delivering it in a different way. So look, you can write this book. The limiting beliefs that are stopping you are exactly that. They are limiting beliefs. And I hope that one of these struck a chord with you, because that means you know you care. And if you know that you care, now you know the limiting beliefs, you can know where you can get the right help. So look, I talk a lot about the limiting beliefs and how to overcome them in my book, Big Idea to Bestseller. And I want to give you a free copy. You order it, cover the shipping, we'll send it directly to your doorstep. You can grab a copy of that book at bigideatobestseller.com/free-book. That's bigideatobestseller.com/free-book. Here's my challenge to you as we wrap this thing up. You got a book inside you if you're watching this video. And if you're still watching after all of that, you know that there's something inside you. My challenge to you is identify what is the thing holding you back, and what do you believe this book can do? And when you can acknowledge the belief and see the desire, boom, we can start to close that gap and make your book happen. Let's go.